Welcome to Real Herbalism Radio, show 286, recorded at Big Dog Studios in Eugene, Oregon. Today's show is made possible by thepracticalherbalist.com. Get info on plants and plant medicine that's supported by science and tradition at thepracticalherbalist.com. We make herbalism practical and easy. thepracticalherbalist.com. When herbalists think of skin, we often jump straight to trauma medicine. We think of herbs to heal burns and cuts and rashes. But what about preventing problems and creating glowing, healthy skin? Today we're talking with Anna Rosa, medical herbalist, member of the National Institute for Medical Herbalism in the UK, and founder of Anna Rosa Skincare, about the power and beauty of Icelandic herbal skincare. Now here are your hosts.
I'm Candace Hunter.
I'm Patrick Hunter.
And welcome to Real Herbalism Radio. Hello, Anna Rosa.
Hello.
It is so lovely to see you again today.
Thank you. Same here, of course.
It seems like we just talked yesterday.
Well, kind of, because the time before that was years.
Right?
And it didn't feel like years.
Right.
It didn't. Felt like yesterday. Absolutely. Yep.
Yes. And in that time, you have moved into, I think, a very fascinating aspect of herbalism in the skin, because so often we just take our skin for granted. We don't think about the fact that it's the largest organ in the body. We just think about it as, skin,
Exactly. Yeah.
But it is really a very important organ for all of us.
Absolutely.
Well, not only that, but
couldn't agree more.
It tells you when things are going wrong inside your body faster than you'll see anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yep. It sure does. All herbalists know that, I think.
No.
Yes. And Icelandic herbs have been a hot topic for quite some time now in the skincare and beauty industry. And I know you do them, and you do them very, very well.
Thank you. Sweet of you.
So I thought that I might just give you a shout and say, well, tell me a little bit about the herbs for Iceland, or what the 5 best herbs for Icelandic herbs for skincare. What are your, and what makes them what makes them so special?
My 5 top Icelandic skincare herbs. Well, for me, they're all special because I handpick them all myself. I go out into the wild nature of Iceland and pick every summer for 3 months or so, and close everything else down. And that's all I do during that period, is just picking the herbs, because I absolutely love to do it. It's my favorite part of it all. And I usually go alone. I just like to be on my own with the herbs, and it's like rejuvenate you for the rest of the year kind of thing. And I love them so much, and I think that actually shows up in what I do then with them. And when you actually make the cream, I do the creams and ointments by hand as well, and I don't let other people do it, at least not yet. I've been doing it for years only myself, although I have help in packing and stuff, but not in actually making and handpicking. I like that. But that was off topic. I could go on and on about how much I love picking herbs.
It's okay.
But the 5 the best herbs I'm using. So if I think of the main herb I use in all my skincare, every single cream and external liquid is yarrow.
Nice.
And yarrow is not such a popular one in the skincare world, really. No. It's not the most popular herb you would think about when you think about. Yes, it's popular for wounds and bleeding, but it's not so much used in the general sort of skincare for the face and stuff like that.
No, definitely.
But no, it's definitely not. You will not find it so much, but it actually does everything. I've been working with it for 30 years. And I started off making ointments with it for my patients when I was only doing that, but then I expanded it into the moisturizers as well, and it works absolutely fabulous. But the main thing I do with it, though, which is not something people expect either, I use it for acne. Ooh. So I have a product called the acne healing extract, and that is the best selling acne, what would you say, acne killer or acne cleanser or something like that? What would you say in the States? I call it the acne healer, but I don't know.
I'd say treatment.
Is there a name for it?
Treatment.
Yeah,
acne
treatment.
Treatment.
Acne treatment or acne solution. So yarrow is my main ingredient, but I use fresh yarrow. I make a tincture with it the same day as I pick it. I don't dry it at all. And I think that makes all the difference, actually.
Okay.
So there's a story behind it, which I think it's cute because it involves my son. So when he's a grown-up man now, but when he was about 12 or 13, he had like one acne. And he was absolutely distraught. Of course he was. I mean, any teenager is when they get acne. He had a good skin, but it was like one or two, and he was really distraught. So he actually, even though he didn't like so much what I was doing at the time, it was just like, Mother, have you got something for me? I have one acne. This is not on, And I made up this mixture of 3 herbs and didn't think much about it. And it really worked. And then he had another one, and it really worked as well. And then his friends started to hear about this. And I got kind of tired of always making up something for his friends. So I just made up this one formula, had enough of it. And so I could just dispense it and give it to them because they were like all very distraught young boys. they were dying because they had 3 acne, you know how it is with teenagers. And so this went on for like 3 years, and I just kept on giving it away to all his friends. And he's a popular guy. He had lots of friends. And so I started having a reputation of making this great stuff for acne without having put it in the shops or anything. It was just like I was tired of making up something new, so I just did always the same. And so it gradually actually became tested quite a lot during all these boys, and the mothers started to call me if they could buy some, and I was just like, yeah, no problem. And then I was actually changing some products and putting new stuff on the market. I already had quite a few products in about 50 shops. And my son said to me, why don't you put this in the shop? It will sell. And I was just like, nah, I don't think it will sell that much. I mean, yes, you and all your friends. And I really didn't think so. But then I thought, I'm doing it anyway, new labels, and I have to hire somebody to do the design. I might as well just put it in. And so at least I can sell his friends and stop giving it away. I think that was my basic idea. So it went on the market and it sold out within few days. It was unbelievable. All his friends and him went on Facebook and said to all his friends, the mother of him is actually, you should buy this. This really worked. And they used language which adults would not have used. and I'm not going to repeat the language they were using. But my God, that was the best advertisement I've ever had in my life. It went completely viral on Facebook without any paid advertisements or anything. It just went viral and it sold out. And I was gobsmacked. I had absolutely no idea how much demand there was in the society for this. Yeah. And this was, probably 10 years ago now. And since then, this has been the best-selling acne cleanser or acne treatment in Iceland. Literally. Wow. I've been told that over and over again in the chemist. This is the one I sell all the time, every day in my web shop as well. Yeah. So it really caught off. And I was just like, no, I don't think it will do that much. Should I put it on or not? I was just like, unbelievable. And the main ingredient is yellow. It's that one simple herb is the main thing that actually kills the acne. Yeah. And as a herbalist, you usually deal with things internally. You don't just dispense something externally. So I was used to having patients with acne and doing all sorts of change with the diet and the whole thing. And that really worked. Mm-hmm. But actually, just that simple solution of external worked so well, I couldn't believe it. Because I was like, where's the dietary advice? Where is this and that? Yes, but it didn't actually need to do that all the time, and it really, really worked. And I'm talking, it worked for bad cases of people being 30 with really bad cases, having gone through all the doctors' thing, what they dispense and so forth. So I had reviews from people like that, and that shocked me as well. I had no idea.
That's big.
And absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's big. That's, when I was younger, I had a friend who had really bad acne, and she did all the different things they prescribed and the scraping of her skin. It was so painful. And
I know it's absolutely terrible treatments. Yeah, I know. I've had quite a lot of patients who have gone through these kind of things, and then the antibiotics they give and so forth.
Yeah.
So if you can find some simple solution which doesn't cost that much for the teenager, that's just a brilliant business idea. I had no idea. Right. It was just so funny. It's just like out of the blue, all thanks to my son having like 2 acne or something. So that is my main herb, yarrow, absolutely. And as I said, I use it in the moisturizers I make as well, because it's really hydrating. It really works, and it's anti-inflammatory. And then I have an ointment called the Bliss Healing Balm, which is specifically for wound and stuff like that, skin diseases. And yarrow is also one of the ingredients there. So yarrow is the main one. It's international herb. It's also, of course, grows in the North America as well. So anybody can get it and make things out of it. So I urge people, if you do it yourself, herbalist, to use yarrow more externally. Absolutely. Other 2 ingredients is that in that fantastic extract, which I happen to make, is calendula, which of course is a very known herb for the skin. That's also a favorite of mine. It doesn't grow wild in Iceland, but it's grown for me. So it's specifically grown in gardens, and I pick it myself there. And it's gorgeous to pick it. You get those sticky orange hands. I absolutely love going to pick it. So that is one of the ingredients. And then not such a well-known ingredient either, which is thyme. You can use garden thyme. I'm using the Arctic thyme, the Icelandic version of thyme, which grows wild in a pick. And I also blend it with some garden thymes as well, because it's difficult I sell so much of it. It's difficult to pick enough of the Arctic thyme. It's a very small plant, much smaller than the garden thyme. It's totally different in that sense. So it's more difficult. But what I actually came across when I was kind of reversed engineering, when I was looking at what I was doing afterwards, was that the garden thyme has actually been researched for acne and came out really well in the research. So I didn't know that when I was using it, but it didn't surprise me. Nice. So that's one of the 3 herbs in that magic's acne solution. So those 3 definitely. And then I use chamomile. I use chamomile as well, but that is not an Icelandic one. It doesn't grow here. But the other Icelandic ones I use, I do that ointment, Bliss Healing Balm, and the main ingredient there is also fairly unusual. That's meadowsweet. And meadowsweet is a well-known medical herb, but hardly anyone uses it in ointment. Yeah. And for me, it was like, there are not that many herbs in Iceland, so I make do with what I come up on more than other people, because I do like to use as much Icelandic as I can. I import quite a lot too, because I have patients who need different things, but mainly I use the Icelandic ones. And I started thinking, what can I use for ointment, which grows a lot of here. And that's meadowsweet. It's all over the place. And I came across some old literature, both in Iceland and somewhere abroad as well, which were claiming it for skincare. And I just decided to test it. And it worked absolutely wonderfully. In conjunction with yarrow, for wounds, for eczema, any kind of disease, skin diseases, it's absolutely fabulous for it. So that is the main ingredient in my most popular ointment as well.
So meadowsweet is mainly like a healing wounds or healing problems. Okay.
And it's anti-inflammatory. It's used internally as an anti-inflammatory for the stomach and gastritis and to lowering acids or balancing out acid in the stomach. But it is just such a good anti-inflammatory for the skin as well. It's unbelievably good, and it makes this very. And I also, the ointment I make from fresh herbs as well only. I don't dry the herbs, so I make it the same day as I pick. And you get this very deep green, from the meadowsweet, and I love the color. So it gives it that kind of feeling. It's just a beautiful color you get out. It's almost black when you boil it in oil. You simmer it in oil for a while. As herbalists who are listening do know, infused oil. That's how I make it. The third ingredient in the bliss healing balm is chickweed, which of course is very commonly used externally in ointments. And it grows all over the world and also in Iceland. So that's another one I use.
Is that one of those
and
ones?
Then last,
the chickweed is one that I've heard from a couple of herbalists have told me that you can only really make it properly if you do it from fresh. Is that?
Yes. That's how I learned it. And that's actually how I've done it always. I've never even bought it or anything dry. I've never used it dry. I've always made it from fresh. But chickweed, I have I have stories from chickweed, not related to herbal medicine, but the thing is with chickweed, which has always been known, it's a cooling herb. Yeah. It will actually cool the skin. And I have stories from my dad that when he was young, he used to fish a lot. So out in the field and the sun was shining, and you know what they did when they had to wait the whole day and they were fishing all day? They wrapped the fish in chickweed, because they knew it was cooling. And I had never thought of it used like that. And this was commonly done in like 1930s. This is a long time ago, of course. But then it was just like, he was just telling me, yeah, of course we did that. Everybody knew that. Right. And I was just like, interesting, very interesting. Yeah. And I hadn't talked to elderly people about it then. And then old uncle of mine visited me. And he's kind of quite old and conservative and sort of not backwards, but strange. He was a bit of a strange guy, put it that way. And so he was driving, and instead of taking 4 hours to drive, it took him 10 hours. So it was very long in coming. And he was visiting me, and he decided to bring me frozen blueberries. And so I go out and to his car to bring the blueberries in. And what do I see except a box full of chickweed? And he was the same generation as my father, and that was the same thing. He knew he had frozen. He wasn't going to let them become what do you say? Not frozen during the way. Thaw. So he put them all thaw exactly. Yeah. So he put it all in a big box of chickweed to keep it totally cool. Totally normal for him. He just looked at me. Of course you do that. And I was just like, yeah, I've never seen anyone do this before.
Did it work?
He was. Yeah, absolutely. Completely frozen still after 10 hours of driving instead of 4, because he drives very slowly. So those two family stories told me enough that chickweed was cooling, but it was just so interesting to hear this aspect of it. And from these two old guys who thought it was totally normal thing to do, whereas nobody thinks it's a normal thing to do now, but it's really cooling.
Yeah, normally you would get a cooler and put your, but by the time after 10 hours in a cooler, they wouldn't actually be frozen solid anymore.
No, this was pretty solid. Yeah. I ate them all. They were really nice.
Did you know, according to ADA Title III, every business website has to be accessible to people with disabilities? Businesses who do not comply are at risk of being sued and facing unnecessary legal expenses. We recommend use of our AI and machine learning web accessibility solution to solve this problem. Our solution will get your business compliant within 48 hours with monthly audits run automatically for you. Do not be surprised by a lawsuit or demand letter. We can help. You can try our website ADA widget at mudpotdesign.com. Just click the blue and white icon in the corner. To see if your website is compliant, get a free audit at mudpotdesign.com/free-ADA-audit today.
So chickweed definitely works, and I've always used it for ointments, and it's a nice one because it's a weed, as everyone knows. You can also just grow it in your kitchen window and use it for salad. It's a delicious salad herbs. In case people who are listening didn't know that, it's really good, and it's smack full of vitamins. And it's also rather neutral taste to put in a salad. It doesn't have a strong bitter taste or anything. It's pretty neutral. So it's a good filling in a salad, and it will give you loads of goodies, definitely. Superfood, if you want to put it that way.
I was thinking my mind was
So I think
substituting.
Birch.
What's that?
Sorry.
Oh no, I was just thinking that when you said chickweed, in my mind, I was visioning cleavers, and I was like, "Why you don't put cleavers in your salad? It's got a funky texture, man." But then I was like, "Oh, it's not cleavers."
They would scrape your mouth.
Yes.
Right.
It's not just a funky texture. They would actually do something to your mouth. They would not be good, I think.
No, we tried that once. I did that when Finn, my son, was quite young. He and I thought it would be brilliant to give it a try. What the heck? All the leaves and stuff of the salad kind of balled up. So it was like eating a salad in a ball.
You did not try that one again, did you?
No. We both thought that was good, and we are done with that. But chickweed is lovely.
Chickweed is beautiful, absolutely. I think I've actually said 5 herbs, but I'm going to say the 6 as well. There's one more. There's Birch. It's the Icelandic version of Birch, which is downy birch, I think it's called, or Icelandic birch. And I use both the leaves and the twigs. And again, I infuse the fresh herb in the oil. I never dry it before I make the. I like the ointment made from fresh herb. I think it works even better. Nice. It works, of course, well with dried herbs, but you get an extra. It goes to the next level, on the next level, when you have the herbs fresh as well. So it's quite a production in the summer because I have to produce it all in the same day.
Yeah.
And so quite a few days, it's just like it's a whole week of just doing meadowsweet oil kind of thing because I sell a lot of it. So and now I'm exporting international as well, so I need even more. But it's a limited. I will not have just so many thousands of jars just because people want to buy it. It's going to be limited.
Right.
So it's a limit to how much you can infuse from fresh herbs. Takes a time to pick them,
So I have a question on the birch. Do you harvest that? Is it like, does it have to be early season, mid season, late? Does it?
Yes. Has to be early in Iceland because it's the first one, beside dandelion leaves, this is the first one I harvest because here you will get a disease in it later on. There's like a worm type which will destroy the leaves pretty quickly, and then there's another disease now as well. So if you don't catch it early enough, within 3 weeks, you're going to start seeing the leaves getting destroyed. And sometimes you can see the whole, with the second disease, I can't remember what it's called, you actually see the whole forest more or less gone in the middle of the summer. Wow. It's just like, it's brown kind of thing.
Oh, wow.
So it's really ugly to see, and nothing you can do about it. But that's the one I pick very, very early. As early as possible, basically. And I keep a close eye out on that one. And check when it's ready because I want to catch it before anything happens to it, really. Yeah. But it's a lovely one. It's a sorry?
How do you use that one? Because I mean, I've heard a lot of people who praise the virtues of birch, and then I've heard other people who complain that it's not, it's got some kind of dangerous who knows what in it, which, every herb has that. The naysayers, but how do you?
I don't think it's dangerous at all. Yeah. No, it's just like no way. I've never seen any danger from birch whatsoever. I've used it a lot internally as well. But birch, it's a great anti-inflammatory. Internally, I use it quite a lot as a diuretic. It's excellent. Okay. It's a different variety than the silver birch, but works similar though. And I would, anti-inflammatory, but it's kind of specific for eczema and baby eczema as well. So that's also why it went into the ointment because, besides there is a lot of birch, so I have to look at what I can actually pick.
Right.
But for eczema and psoriasis, I like to think of it as specific for that.
That's interesting.
It does its job in it.
Yeah, it's interesting as I know birch has often been used as like a cleanser, spring cleansing kind of thing. And chickweed too. Yeah. The two are often, I've seen them used together.
Absolutely.
And that makes sense because, I mean, isn't eczema and psoriasis to some extent is a problem with the body not able to cleanse out whatever the wastes are as well as would be desired? Which then,
absolutely. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that. That's an interesting twist on it. That you're detoxing it externally. Yes.
Yeah.
In a weird way, that makes sense as well. In a herbalist
Right.
Definitely. But it's also just it's a lovely smell. It's so nice to pick it. It's also the only herb I pick with gloves on because it's so sticky. It's much more stickier than calendula. It'll actually stick to your hand. It'll take you a while to get it off. So I use vinyl gloves when I'm picking it. Otherwise, takes the next day to get it off, kind of thing. Right. Because I spend hours picking, of course. But it's a lovely one. Yeah. So it's a great. I can smell it while I'm talking about it right now. I can just smell it. It's a strong smell.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I think those are the main top Icelandic skincare herbs. My favorite.
What is it, do you think, that has made Icelandic herbal skincare so popular? I mean, what is it that makes it so distinctive?
Well, it's very good quality of herbs. Because of the wilderness, that is distinctive. There is also a saying, and I'm not quite sure if I believe it, that because the season is so short, then they are richer of active ingredients than otherwise. That is gets like compacted because of the season. There has a little bit of research been done which supports that, but I don't quite believe it because herbs are good wherever they are, if you know what I mean. But I think it's the wilderness and the pristiness and the cleanness of Iceland. I think that is the main thing. Things are very clean here compared to other countries. There's no question about it. We have exceptionally good water. The air is very little polluted. I pick in the wilderness completely, and it takes you like half an hour to drive, and then you're in the wilderness. It's not like you have to go for 5 hours. It's actually that much wilderness everywhere. It's not that organized as a farming land. Well, it is, but it's very easy to get into the hills and the mountains.
Yeah.
And so it's the wildness of Iceland.
Well, I was going to ask you that because, here, I mean, I don't think a lot of people have, many people know, okay, Iceland's an island. It's in the upper mid-Atlantic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah.
But I think people's idea of size gets modified. Like, I was going to ask you, so you said when you said you went out like 3 months out of the year to harvest, I'm thinking, okay, she's got a caravan, she's out there in the woods, she's making oils, she's doing this whole thing.
Nowhere.
She's gone for 90 days, no one sees her, and here that's the way it would be because it would take time.
It would take
your
5 hours is like not kidding. It takes for most of us several hours of driving just to get to the wilderness. And then when we get there, there's rules about which properties you can and can't be on because half the wilderness is owned by somebody.
Right?
It's not simple.
So I was going to ask you, what is a day in the life of a Icelandic wildcrafter look like?
It's very different from your imagination, I can tell you. And I had completely forgotten that is the reality of where you live and in most countries, but that is not the case. And I think Iceland is probably, in some ways, the best country in the world to live in as a herbalist, because it will take me an hour, maybe an hour or two, if I'm going for something specific, to drive to the wilderness, pick for hours, and then I just drive back and just make the oil in the thing. So I just literally, I do things mostly just in one day. And I drive, I might drive to the north of the country to pick yarrow specifically, and that takes me 5 hours. And then I stay over the night, pick, and come back during the same day with the fresh materials. But it's all like that. I don't have a caravan at all, and then I just drive and pick and come back basically. Yeah. So it's very different from your imagination.
So I think you need to dress that story up and make it a little bit more interesting than just get in your car, drive an hour, get the stuff, come home and done. You need to
make it sound
it more
alchemical or something mystical.
You got to market that a little bit better.
Safari-like.
Okay. It's far too simplistic. I know.
I know. But I mean, in that vein, the simplicity, I think, is part of what makes Icelandic herbal skincare or Icelandic skincare in general, very powerful. So. I think it's partly the simplicity.
Yeah. So it's all about that, really, because if you look at general skincare, they have like 50,000 ingredients nobody understands. And then you actually read the ingredients I have, and they are like maybe 10 or 15, and you understand all of them.
Look, this acne one, just 3. What?
Yeah. And it's the same as food. And people don't realize the amount of stuff which is put in sort of normal skincare, if you can call it like that, is absolutely horrific. Yes. And it's like I've written blogs on this, which you can find on my website, to simplify it for the general consumer to actually, so they are capable of reading labels.
Understand.
It is so difficult. There is no wonder that nobody knows anything.
Right.
And as a producer, I can tell you, there's absolutely no need for all that stuff. Right. It's such crap, basically.
Yes.
And it's used because it's cheap.
Yes.
I can look at an ingredient in a normal skincare and tell you how much it costs. Absolutely nothing.
Right.
Because they're just using such rubbish. And that is the whole point of it. People won't make... There's what would you say? Authenticity?
Authenticity?
There's no... That's a difficult one. There's nothing like that in it. It's just a producer somewhere who wants to make enough money and doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I actually care. That's the difference, I also don't have anyone over my shoulder telling me you have to buy something cheaper because we want to make. I actually control it myself, and that makes a whole lot of difference.
That does make a huge difference because here, even if you go to the high-end beauty counters where you have usually women who look like they're about to head out to like an opera or something. Selling you, and they're going to make up your face and show you all this stuff, and you look at the labels there, they're very expensive, and they still have 50 ingredients.
Not just still. If you look at the ingredients, the cost of the product is probably about $2, and they're selling it for $400 and something.
Yes.
I can actually look at the label and see what the cost of the production is.
Yes.
And it's ridiculous the amount people are paying for marketing.
Yes.
It's all marketing that women are paying for. Yeah. And it's been sold like that. And it's unbelievable if you just look at it.
Yeah.
And it's very easy if you sort of educate yourself a little bit and you know the prices of things, and it's just easy to see.
Yeah.
You look at a jar which costs you $300. I've actually done this here in Iceland. It cost $300, and the cost of it was probably around $5.
Yeah.
I would say max.
Yeah.
Probably quite a lot because I don't buy in big bulk, so I don't know the cheap prices really of oil or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely unbelievable. So definitely that is part of it with my skincare line, without a question.
That's part of
people know what they're getting. They actually know that I'm behind what I do. It's quite obvious. And I do not look like these women behind the beauty counter either.
But honestly, I don't need to look like those
I think
women.
I look slightly more healthy, maybe more wrinkles. I don't care. But it's like, I'm not faking it.
Your skin glows. It's a perfect product advertisement right there.
It's the yarrow. I'm telling you.
Well, where can people find information about your products? Where can they get a hold of them if they don't want to make them themselves?
Yeah, okay. They can just look at my website, which is annarosaskincare.com.
All right.
And so you get all the information there. And I also invite people to subscribe to my newsletter, because I send out a lot of information every week, usually blogs, all kinds of information about health. I like cooking, so I send out food recipes. They are usually quite popular, that kind of thing. So I'm having fun with the newsletter. So if you want to join me there, that would be good. Definitely.
And then also I want to make sure that we remind people that one of the bonuses of the simplicity and the purity of your products is that you also donate to refugee organizations with some of your proceeds.
Yes, so, that is actually Actually, the short story is that I am selling internationally to make profit to donate to those organizations.
Yeah.
That is the whole purpose of me selling internationally. And I'm not joking about that. That is actually the purpose of it.
Yeah.
So definitely you know that if you buy a jar of cream, that you're actually paying money directly towards empowering refugees at the same time.
Yeah, which is definitely a bonus you don't get from a vast majority of the beauty industry.
I don't think so.
Fair enough. Well, as always, remember we have our little catchphrase?
Yeah.
So you ready to say it?
I am.
Okay, ready? So, as always, put
an herb on it.
I feel on it.
Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
The statements made about herbs and products on this podcast have not been evaluated by the United States Food and Drug Administration, FDA. They're not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. All information provided on this podcast or any affiliated websites is for informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for advice from your physician or other healthcare professional. You should not use the information on this podcast and its affiliated websites for a diagnosis or treatment of any health problem. Always consult with a healthcare professional before starting any new vitamins, supplements, diet, or exercise program before taking any medication, or if you have or suspect you might have a health problem. Any testimonials, questions, or case studies are based on individual results and do not constitute a guarantee that you will achieve the same results.